Hey everybody, I want to do a quick little video on a R class. So that would be your ML, R class, GL, could potentially be other Benzes, other chassis. I'm not really sure how these fans all look under here. But the issue with this is my wife's truck, and I was having an issue with the fan would work, not work. I've seen this in the past, but being customer vehicles, it's nothing I've really dug into internally with the fan, because for the most part, I just don't really do that kind of stuff for customers, because it can end up wasting a lot of time and get nowhere. If I know that there's a repair in there, then maybe I'll go in there and do that repair. But I thought I'd dig into this one because this is my wife's vehicle, this R350, and fans about, I think my cost on it was about $500. So I figured, why not just dig into it and see if I can maybe find what's going on. I think I have, and I think this will help people. This is not a real involved repair. So I think, and I'm pretty sure this is going to fix it, what I do. So essentially, when these fans fail, you will get you'll get the little temperature thermometer warning on the dash. And usually what happens is you've got your air on. You potentially not have your air on, but the engine's going to have to be so hot that you're probably going to have your air on under those types of driving conditions. But you have your air on, it calls for the fan to work. You've slowed down in the traffic, and it's wanting the fan. It's turning the fan on, and the fan is not coming on. And it knows this by watching the Freon temperature pressure sensor. So when it calls for the fan to turn on and it sees no change, it then turns off your AC compressor and pops up that temperature warning on the dash. And so that's really what you're gonna see. So if you got something other than that, these things wear out, compressors, these Nip and Denso compressors wear out pretty quick. But if you're getting that warning on the dash, then this is what I would recommend. So go ahead and pull the fan assembly out. Really easy on these, takes maybe 5 minutes. Two 10mm bolts. It just bolts up at the top. Unplug your connector, and that fan will basically just pull straight up and out. Once you get it out, you'll go ahead and pop it out of the assembly. Again, it's like 5 T20 Torx, and then you'll have everything here on the bench. And it'll have this cover, which I wasn't careful enough and I broke, but we'll piece it and glue it all back together. But I would just take your time, because this is super flimsy plastic, and they've glued it on pretty good. Heat gun helped. Once I was fighting it long enough, I decided to use the heat gun, took my time, and was able to get the rest of it off. So again, I'll get that back on and seal that back up. But what I found, we'll see if I can get it on the, you'll see right here are solder cracks for that solder joint. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I would look, and it looks like a couple of these are suspect over here. So I'm going to reflow or resolder, make sure you use flux, and I'm going to reflow these joints that look suspect. This one is cracked enough here that I'm pretty sure this is the issue. So when the vehicle was cold, when she would leave in the morning, fan always worked fine. Maybe 15-20 minutes into her trip through traffic, the fan would eventually stop, the AC compressor would stop, and she would get that warning on the dash. So these solder joints, the whole reason they crack and fail to begin with is it's probably a fairly high current connection. And as that solder expands and contracts hundreds, if not thousands of times throughout its life, eventually that solder kind of work hardens and cracks and pulls away from the post. So all you have to do is go in there with good flux, good solder, reflow that joint, and that should take care of it. So hopefully this helps somebody. I'll get this back together. I will follow up after I post this video. I'll follow up and let you know that this was a successful repair. But from everything I'm seeing and just my past experience with solder joints and how they act, when they warm up, they lose connection. They cool down, they gain connection. We had this issue with our old fuel pump relays in the cars, but this should fix it. Save yourself $500, maybe takes you an hour to take your time with a solder. Again, T20 a 10mm socket, and patience and a flat blade screwdriver. Heat gun helped, and then a soldering iron. That should get you working again. So thanks, guys. Take care.